Hi, happy Wednesday. I hope that you're ready to learn more about stars and that you have your Seesaw Journal already open. That way we're nice and prepared for our day. So, last time on Monday when we talked about stars, we talked about their brightness, how some stars appear brighter than others, the difference between true brightness and apparent brightness, and we talked about how our sun is bright. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to shift from brightness about stars to stars' color. So why do some stars have different colors? Why, when we look at the nighttime sky, why all stars appear to be white? And what part of our human eye helps us see stars in a certain way? So I'm going to show you my Seesaw Journal to help you be prepared for our video watching today. So this is my Seesaw. I'm signed in as a student, and I found Science October 28th video notes. I'm going to click Add a Response, and then you'll see that we have 4 questions we need to answer today. I'm going to click Edit Note at the bottom, and we're going to make sure that we type our answers below the question. We're not going to type it next to the question or delete our question, because when we look back at our notes, we want to see what we answered and why we know what we know about the stars. So keeping yourself organized will help when you reflect on this later on. And I want you to have this ready before we start our science video. That way you can flip back and forth easily and you'll be ready to go. So if you need time to do that, pause the video now and make sure that you have your Seesaw Journal open just like mine. Now that you're ready to move on, we're going to watch the video together, and we're going to look for how do stars get their colors? Why do all stars appear to be white when we look at the night sky? What's the difference between the cone and rod cells in our eyes? And do we use our cone cells or rod cells at night? So let's see if we can figure it out by watching our video.
Previously, we learned that the color of the sun is white, but in addition to white, stars come in different colors such as blue, orange, and red. But how do the stars get their colors? Well, the color of the stars depends on the temperature of its surface. The sun has a surface temperature of about 6,000 kelvins. Red stars like Betelgeuse have a surface temperature of about 3,500 kelvins. And blue stars such as Rigel have a surface temperature of 10,000 kelvins. Cooler stars tend to be red, and once you turn up the heat and make them hotter, they tend to be white or blue. But now,
so this is what gives stars their color. Stars get their color from their temperature. And what's kind of backwards that we really need to concentrate on focusing on is that our hotter stars, like Rigel and the sun, appear to be blue or white, whereas our colder stars, such as Betelgeuse, appear to be red and yellow. So it's kind of backwards. The colors we associate with heat actually mean they're colder stars, like red. But the colors we associate with cool and cold, like blue and white, actually mean that a star is warmer or hotter. So I'm going to flip back to my Seesaw Journal. And how stars get their colors? Stars get their colors by their temperature. Blue and white stars are hotter, and red and yellow stars are cooler. Okay, so take that time to pause the video and enter your answer for number 1, and then we're going to jump back and we're going to see if we can answer 2 through 4. Now that you're done answering question number 1, we're going to jump back to our video and see if we can answer the other ones.
if all of the stars have different colors, why is it that when we look at the night sky, all of them appear to be white? Well, the reason for this is because of our eyes. Our eyes have 2 sensors that help us see. We have cone cells and rod cells. Cone cells detect color, and rod cells detect shades of gray and motion. Now,
so this is important. Look at the characteristics of each one, right? The cone cells detect color, and they require a lot of light to be around. So they're most active during the day. Rod cells, on the other hand, detect shades of gray, like white, black, gray, in between. They detect motion, and they require a little bit of light. So they can be active when it's dark outside. So think about when you're inside of a room. At nighttime, when all the lights are out, you have trouble seeing the colors of things around your room. Maybe your dresser, your chair, you can't see those key details like the color red, blue, green, and yellow. But you see that outline of your chair, that outline of your dresser, right? But then in the daytime, when the lights are on and the sun is shining, you can see your red chair with the green stripes on it. You can see your dresser that's yellow. So the cone cells are really detective on the color, whereas the rod cells require little light and they're more active during night. Make sure you flip to your Seesaw Journal and enter these answers in now about what's the difference between cone cells and rod cells, cone cells and rod cells. And pause the video if you need time to do that. We're now going to resume and kind of see why we see stars white at night.
Now guess which one of these is most active at night? At nighttime, our eyes rely on our rod cells because there isn't enough light to stimulate the cone cells. So when we look at the stars, we don't see their color, we can only see their brightness. And this is why all of the stars appear to be white in the night sky. Thanks for watching.
So that tells us a little bit about it, right? So we see their brightness because we cannot see their color, right? We use our rod cells, the one that doesn't require a lot of light, the one that sees shades of gray. So at nighttime, we use our rod cells and we see stars as white and not their true color because we can't detect their color because there's not a lot of light. So we see their brightness, which is why they all appear to be white. Make sure that you answered questions 2, 3, and 4 on your own. And when you're done and ready to submit, press the green check button once to save and then twice to post. I hope that you learned a lot about stars and their colors, and we will see you in the main meeting.